Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode where Blake calls while I'm doing intros.
like right off the bat, just immediately.
Hold on.
I mean, I'm not cutting that out. This is the intro. Or two to three old guys play old games. It's Original Flavor Wednesday, so that means we're playing down through Dorkly's top 25 N64 games. This week is number 4.
Is this 4?
I believe it's 4.
Okay.
If Paul is accurate on what's Paul playing today,
He is.
It's number 4.
Yeah, he's accurate.
Yeah, he cares more about this than we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4, GoldenEye. And we brought our most enthusiastic, preeminent authority in all things GoldenEye, Oathbreaker Blake Woods.
Hey, TADPOG Nation. How are you? No response.
I'll wait for them to answer.
We'll wait. My dad will call back eventually.
Dicks.
But first, I'm your bearded host, Tyler. And Dave, I know how much... I shared this. This is my little cross to bear as well as yours, that we both enjoy just hot, spicy garbage food.
Yeah. Do you have some there?
That's what I brought in.
You brought in something that looks like it's covered with a beach towel. Is that food?
That's what I use for oven mitts, just beach towels.
That's food in there?
There's food in there. So I have brought as well. Blake has some. Well, I told him beforehand to go buy this.
Okay.
So Blake has it as well to
Jeez,
sample with us.
Okay.
The new Daredevil grillers from Taco Bell. The 3 various spiciness ranges.
Oh, awesome. Dude, I've had so much food today.
Oh, you are not kidding. Tyler said this to me. I was like, holy shit, there's no way. I just had Chipotle an hour ago.
I just had the spiciest chicken I've ever eaten. Probably about an hour ago as well.
Hotter than Hattie B's? Where'd you get that?
Home.
Okay. All right, let's see. So is this... Here we go.
We're starting with?
We'll start with the mildest.
What are these? Are these Marvel Daredevil snacks? Is that what this is?
They have them in 3 different spiciness ranges. Chipotle, habanero, and ghost pepper.
Okay.
So I have them. I will cut each in half.
You know these are not going to be spicy. You know they're not.
They're not.
There's no way these are going to be
it.
spicy. When is the last time you've been to a fast food place and been like, holy shit, this is spicy?
Here's the thing. I looked up some reviews online.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Reading
and
ahead?
apparently the habanero one's supposed to be spicy.
Okay. Spicier than the ghost pepper?
I mean, no.
Okay.
How many
That's good.
units is... No.
Yeah, there's no way this is like, yeah. But
right.
we'll try it. Here's the Chipotle one.
This is Chipotle.
I don't know which one's which. How do you know?
Wait, is it Chipotle or Taco Bell?
No, it's Taco.
That was a Randy joke, sorry.
Yeah. Their packages are labeled, Blake.
I know, but I'm just gonna dive into one.
You took them all out of the packages already?
No, they're just not very clearly labeled. Whatever. I'm just going.
Chipotle one. I don't like it.
It's okay. It's not spicy at all.
I'm kind of burned out on the Chipotle trend. I'm sick of smoky heat. And this is not spicy. It just has a little bit of smokiness to it. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Let's see. Mild Chipotle Daredevil. Calories 420.
Oh, man. I shouldn't finish this, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, fat 22 grams. Sodium 940 milligrams. Tyler, how many carbs do you think?
50
million.
50
43.
million.
It's pretty good.
43.
But we're getting a pretty good dose of I think I got the habanero I don't know, it's either the second or the third one. It's got a little bit of spice to it. And it's an angry red, like my butthole will be later. Okay.
Okay, so now I will pull out here's the habanero. Because that one was labeled mild. This one is labeled hot.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope these all taste exactly the same. That's really what I'm hoping for. All right, toss that on my plate. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and can't wait to scarf down these 240 calories. Yum, 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 yum.
Actually, the habanero is a little less, 380 calories.
All right.
I like that better.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of kick on the back end.
Right.
Nothing up front, but that's okay.
You know what I would have? You know what I wish? I wish I'd eaten this an hour ago when I bought it, so that those chips would be crunchy.
I'm gonna finish each of my halves and I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
what
you were sick for last week's show, so we'll keep this going.
this is what a dog feels like, by the way, when you just keep pouring food in his bowl.
Please stop. Please stop.
So this is, I'm cutting in half ghost pepper now.
Okay.
Tyler, I'm not done with my habanero.
Okay. The one where Dave crams 1.5 burritos in his mouth and then records a podcast.
I will take it though.
Yeah, it's free food, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna double fist this.
Hey, did you guys buy this with your Patreon?
Tyler, that's a Tyler question. I
Taco
didn't know
Bell
this
does
was
not
happening.
take PayPal, so nope.
Not yet.
Were you like, did you ask?
You gotta take PayPal for some burritos.
I sold some sweet
I did,
Magic the
however,
Gathering cards
ask,
on eBay. You take PayPal?
I did, however, ask the admins at StreamMate for cam girls, do you take PayPal? No, sir, we do not.
I told you.
Okay.
I told you. I knew you were going.
I didn't even think about it until you said something. Then whenever I was jerking it, I was like, I wonder if that'll work.
Because Blake, just to let you know what's
Tyler
going on.
likes to masturbate.
Tyler loves to masturbate. I sent him money via PayPal earlier this week, and
What for?
for TADPOG. I was like, here's your TADPOG money.
Oh, you're the money keeper. You hold the purse strings.
You're not gonna.
You don't sound very trustworthy.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
When I sent it to Tyler, my note was something along the lines of, here's your cam girl titty money, dog. And his response was, I'm just going to buy Steam games. I knew. The truth comes out. I'm glad.
After you, well, yeah. At the moment, I wasn't aroused, so I was like, no, Steam games. I got aroused, and I had to check.
You're not like me. When you see like money, you get aroused.
No.
Did you guys try the ghost pepper?
Not yet. No.
Here is the ghost pepper.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
That's spicier than I thought it would be.
It's a little.
Yeah, it is.
A little front end heat, as opposed to the.
A lot. I think it's a lot of back end heat too.
You know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm getting like a little bit of sweat up around my my nose.
Oh, I just got a big glob. That guy was heavy-handed with that gun right in the back.
That flavor gun. Yeah. Dave, would you like
speaking
my
of-
3 halves as well?
Fuck no. No. Thank you. I would like
Speaking
to
of
wipe my hands on something.
hot foods,
Paper towels behind you.
I used them all when I spilled water all
Oh.
over my laptop. I just use my
You
pants.
can get my sheets. It's
I
fine.
just use my pants. It's cool.
speaking of angry red buttholes, on Tuesday.
Talking about yourself, Blake.
Yeah. No, I am. On Tuesday, I get to have my first colonoscopy.
Oof.
Good luck.
I've had one of those. Yeah.
Have you? What for?
I have. I was having a lot of stomach pains and cramping and stuff like that, so they wanted to see if I had Crohn's.
That's a Krampusing.
Krampusing.
Right there in the-
They want to see if I had Crohn's. They gave me a colonoscopy for that.
They want to see if Krampus was up in there.
Yeah.
They found the Krampus. My dad was very angry.
Buried in your colon.
So I do have a Krampus story, though, about my father.
Okay.
My car has been in the shop for a while because my air conditioner has stopped working. While it sucked for me, I could have waited it out, but I did not like driving Kenna around in, the toaster car. So sent to the shop to get like something fixed in it. Like they had to pull out all like the whole front, my whole dashboard to get like this one little chip that had to be replaced. So the labor took forever, and I had another car in the meantime. And Dad picked me up one morning. We drove over there, and on the way to pick up the car. He decided to give me life advice. And he was like, kids change everything, don't they, Tyler? They just change everything. You didn't think one little person could make such drastic difference in your life. And now I bet, like, stuff on TV, it's different when it's about kids. I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. It's like now she's going to get older, and right now you're probably always worried about whenever she stands up and walks across, if she's going to fall and hit her head and hurt herself. Yeah, well, that's true, Dad. I do worry about all that. Well, and it's going to get older, and she's going to go to school, and she's going to get friends that you don't like, and you're going to be worried about her. And I was like, like you are with me. Okay, I get it. She'll go to middle school and go to dances, and she'll like boys, and you'll worry about all that. And she'll probably get in a car with all of her friends, and one of them will be like just turned 16, and everybody will think it's a good time, but they can't really trust that driver, inexperienced driver, driving around, being fast, having your windows down, listening to loud music. All the kids will be talking about drinking and drugs and sinning, and somebody will bring up the Krampus, and they'll get all angry. And like, I am sincere, and that was his line of story. I was completely on board with what he was going for until he brought up the possibility of Kenna's future friends, hot rodding at 16, bringing up that damn Krampus. Because even when he like said it, I don't know if he meant it as a joke, but as soon as he said Krampus, he started getting angry.
It's really hard to tell when your dad's joking.
Yeah.
It is.
That damn Krampus.
Do you think he's going to see the movie?
He will be mad that it's out. And
Does he know about it yet?
I doubt it. I severely doubt it. So he'll find out and be like, "Are you serious?"
But Dad,
your cousin will be first in line, all dressed up, to see that stupid movie.
Dad, it's got Adam Scott in it. Come on.
Oh, from Parks and Rec? Okay.
I would love for that movie to just be the absolute last episode of Parks and Rec. I hope he plays Ben Wyatt in that movie. Yeah.
It's the true story of Ben Wyatt's tenure as the mayor of that small town.
Icetown.
Oh, that would be perfect.
I know. It's what happens when he leaves Leslie and goes back to Icetown.
what has been, the remains of Icetown, what it is now when he walks in. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like in his house, and he hears a noise outside. He goes out, and the Krampus slips off of his roof and dies, and then he becomes the Krampus.
The Krampus claws. 2 Ks.
His first victim is his small son who he shares custody with.
I don't know why we don't write these things.
I don't know.
Why no one bothered to ask us?
It's too bad.
Well, welcome, Blake.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really has been. Because I was just commenting before we started, like, you haven't even been to the finished annex.
I've never seen it.
Guys, I feel really sick now after eating those burritos.
I can't stop burping.
Yeah, my stomach like really expanded.
Yeah, you only had 1.5 though.
But just before the spicy chicken ever, before he got here.
That's true. I had Chipotle. and like for breakfast I had like bacon and eggs and hash browns and 2 pancakes, and then for lunch I had like this big club sandwich.
All right, you ate more than me.
Chipotle and then second dinner.
Yeah, thanks for second dinner, Tyler.
Then by the time we're done recording this, you'll be, be hungry again. It's fine.
Hungry again, yeah.
I'll probably eat again before I go to bed. Like a handful of nerds, something like that.
I'll probably have some barbecue pork rinds before I go to bed.
Nice.
See, you like savory more, Blake. I like going out on something sweet. Like my thing lately has been
powdered sugar pork rinds.
Oatmeal. So I'll have brown sugar oatmeal before I go to bed. The protein.
I don't like oatmeal, but what I do love is malto-meal.
What is malto-meal?
It's like this really ghetto version of oatmeal.
Oh, poor people oatmeal. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Blake.
no, it really is. It's like grits, but it's like cream of wheat. You know what cream of wheat is?
Oh yeah, my mom ate that all the time growing up, but she has talked about it.
I made some for my son tonight, actually, and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this. I love this. I ate this all the time as a kid." And he took a bite and just looked at me like dead in the eyes.
We're the
Doesn't taste like
bourgeoisie,
oatmeal,
Daddy.
You lied.
I hope the Krampus takes you, Daddy.
Why don't you take this back to the trailer park, Father? Thank you. I'll go play with my fancy toys. I'll shout YouTube channels to the Xbox One. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys want to talk about GoldenEye?
Yeah, I guess we can.
If you want to. We don't have to.
We don't have to?
Well,
I will hold you to that. We will
should
do an
give it-
entire original
Done.
flavor Wednesday of where we don't talk about the game. I'm fine. I am 100% okay
We could
with
give
that.
it the same lip service we gave Majora's Mask Part 2.
So we do have to talk
Blake,
about the game.
find something on the internet tangential to read for 40 minutes. It'll be fine.
I wonder if there's some good fanfic out there.
Oh, there has to be because,
Yeah,
I mean, the
absolutely.
movie and everything, right?
I mean, there's the actual fic, which is the movie.
Right.
Well,
There's got to be some good.
how familiar are you guys with the film franchise?
Not at all.
Not at
Yeah.
all?
Not at all. I've seen maybe half of a movie at Nikki's grandfather's on Thanksgiving, and it was awful. It was an awful. It was not a good experience.
The only
The
one I've
newer
ever seen is
ones-
Skyfall. Skyfall is the only James Bond movie I've
Yeah.
ever seen. But because of this game, Pierce Brosnan is 007 to me.
Which is so terrible, right?
I assume so. I was about to say if you wanted to leave that in, Dave, I could ring up Phil Duvall and be like, "Hey man, what's the best 007?" and then hang up.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your penis in his butthole.
No, he was talking about the plugs in the soundboard
The
that keep
audio
making
jack.
the most awful sound in the world. Yeah, call him up.
Here, I'll give Phil Duvall a second breakfast.
I like how at the beginning of the show, this would have been something you guys had edited out, and now it's just something that's just awkward silence in the middle of the podcast.
Well, I'll probably edit out most of it.
I don't believe you.
Oh, you don't listen anymore. What do you know?
I listen sometimes.
I wouldn't listen to this one. I don't blame you.
Is Phil there?
This is me.
Phil. Actually, I'm fucking everything up. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, there we are. Hey, Phil, it's Tyler and Dave and Blake
Oh.
Woods.
And Blake.
And who else?
Blake Woods.
Blake.
Oh, well, I like him all right.
That's how we feel about him too. You are
Yeah.
live on TADPOG right now.
Oh my goodness. All right.
We've got,
well, sure.
We've got a question.
We had
We've got a question.
I have a movie. You are the only movie authority that I can just pretty much ring up and call. So,
oh wow.
so-
Okay. I hope I can. I hope I live up to the hype. What's the question?
well, we're talking about GoldenEye for the N64 today, and
Okay.
none of us are familiar with the film franchise. So,
Hold on one second. Okay, go ahead.
who is the best 007?
Who's the best double? Okay, so art is all subjective,
so Pierce
and
Brosnan.
there's no such thing as best. It's all about opinions. That's my stall. While I admit that I have actually never seen a Sean Connery. I have never
Okay.
seen a Sean Connery 007 movie.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't, and I've never seen George Lazenby, who apparently, for some people, they consider his one shot actually pretty underrated.
I didn't even know that was a person.
Yeah, who is that?
George Lazenby was the guy who came after Sean Connery. And he got one shot at it in Her Majesty's Secret Service, and that was it. That's all he got.
Did he die or did
that's-
they hate him?
People didn't like him, and it didn't go well. It was just he was the rebound. He was the rebound girlfriend, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, like you're not Sean Connery. So I mean, the thing is, with the understanding that pretty much every 007 fan will say that Sean Connery is the definitive because he's the guy who created it, or really first did it. And I mean, it's like that's what everyone says. That's the official. I would say if you had to pick one, you have to say it's Sean Connery. I grew up on Roger Moore. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to think that he was the guy that sort of introduced me to 007. Of course, that could be why I never got into 007. Because
Okay.
Roger Moore is kind of boring and like stilted and puffy. Then Timothy Dalton happened, and everyone looked the other direction. And then Pierce Brosnan sort of brought it back. But I mean, I like the Daniel Craig Jason Bourne incarnation of 007. The sullen, like muscular sort of Jason Bourne-esque 007 direction they've gone.
So you're
I'm
kind of
actually
into
interested in those
twinks,
movies.
is what you're saying.
So,
like a real Twinkie.
I guess I would say the official answer, according to the world, is Sean Connery. But according to like what I'm actually interested in, I'm actually interested in Daniel Craig.
See, I have heard he is on the way out, and Idris Elba is the next.
I've heard that as
007.
well.
They said Idris Elba was the next guy before Daniel Craig showed up.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, he's been rumored since before that. Listen, I mean, obviously there's the whole, are we going to have a black 007 thing? Of course you can imagine I don't care.
Wait,
Whatever.
he's black?
Even if what color 007
Not
is.
interested.
It's ridiculous. But my biggest problem is 007 is like an incredibly misogynistic character who kind of doesn't care about life or other people. So it's a really weird dynamic. It's a really weird, like, it used to be kind of adorable in the 60s.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, isn't it cute how he, like, sleeps with everybody and doesn't care about people? That's adorable. It was funny what we thought was cute back then, right? But now it's like...
I think we
now
still
it's just
do.
Weird. Now it's just weird. But, yeah, he could be on his way out, but the work has been great.
Because the only
His work
James
has
Bond
been
movie
great.
I've ever seen is Skyfall. So although he is, I was just telling them, he is not James Bond to me because of GoldenEye for the N64. It's Pierce Brosnan.
That's right.
Which may
when
be
I was
sad,
in college, so when I was in college, GoldenEye was the game that all of the theater nerds were playing. And if I remember correctly, one of the reasons that they were so psyched about it is, and tell me if I'm wrong, you guys know this way better than I do. It was one of the first really multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
It was really big for the multiplayer, yeah.
Right? Like technically Mario Brothers is multiplayer, but not really, because you just had to watch each other take a turn. Or then if you were lucky, you could do something like, I just grew up on regular Nintendo, so things like Tecmo Bowl and Double Dribble and Blades of Steel, you could play against each other. But like in terms of like bringing multiplayer into Nintendo, where like 2 or 3 or 4 people could play, it was GoldenEye kind of was ushered it in, at least popularity wise, right?
Yeah, it was a breakout for first-person shooters on console.
I think Pierce Brosnan, from my understanding again, and I saw GoldenEye, I just didn't care about the movies. I got to be honest, for some reason it wasn't my bag. But I think in terms of, again, like sort of public opinion, I think Pierce Brosnan sort of got them closer to what they wanted.
Okay.
All right.
And I think what Daniel Craig has done is he has brought 007 into the 21st century. He is just a much more physical, like that's why I use the term Jason Bourne, right? He's a much more physical, it's a much more physical, action-oriented 007. It's also, like, he doesn't smile much. He's pretty, dour. And that's really counter to the Sean Connery 007. And that's okay. But I think he just went, I think what they did was they kept trying to figure out who would be the next Sean Connery. And I think with Daniel Craig, they actually said, let's stop trying to find the next Sean Connery and let's just find the next 007 and think differently about it.
There you go,
I think
Tyler.
if they actually went with Idris Elba, it'd be rad.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty sweet.
Although he's
I've
getting a
heard
little old now.
Tom Hardy
He's getting
recently.
he's been around forever, right? At this point?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's got to be close to 50.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I'm not interested in any old.
I think
any
Idris
old
Elba
guys.
was the guy who almost was. Did you guys ever see that BBC series Luther that he was in?
It's been on my list of things to watch.
Jacob
for a
has
very long
highly
time.
recommended that to
It's
us.
been on my list for like 4 years now.
Yeah, me too. Ever since Jacob mentioned it.
My concern is that when Daniel Craig retires, that they're going to do the same thing they did, where they're going to try to find someone to match him. And I think what they really need to do when the time comes for them to transition is, because they're going to keep doing 007s until forever. So the goal is not going to be that they need to not try to find Daniel Craig Jr. They need to find a new vibe for a new time, you know?
So black. You're
and
thinking
just go a
black
different
is that
direction
new
with it. I
vibe.
think that would work. But
Gotcha.
and maybe again a little less just total ridiculous misogyny.
What if
I like my misogyny to be subtle
What
and
if
untraceable.
what if James
Bill Clinton.
What if James Bond was homosexual? What if they went that route?
Yes. Or
Well, again,
transgender.
you're gonna look at you're talking to a guy for whom this is not sacred text.
Right. Oh, me neither. So
Yeah. No, so we're not the group of people you called me, which means you guys don't know. You guys even know less than me, which is terrifying. But for all of us, yes, screw it. Make him gay. Make him black and
Just banging dudes
yeah,
all the
no,
time.
I think that would be
Can we have
great.
black lesbian 007? with foster kids.
He's really into a guy named like Big McLarge Huge.
Wouldn't care.
Well, thanks for your input, Phil. We appreciate it.
Well, I was glad to see Tyler Holland's name show up on my phone.
Yeah, it's the first time
I was perplexed, but happy.
Did you think it was an emergency? Because that's what I think every time I see him.
I was a little concerned that maybe something had happened to our boy Jorge or something.
Yeah, because I've never called you on the phone before, so...
I was shocked. Listen, when your name showed up on my phone, I was like, my first thought was Tyler's calling me, and my second thought was, I have Tyler's phone number?
I could tell it was the first time Tyler called you on the phone when he said, "Can I speak to Phil?"
Yep.
By the way, that ends with our generation because like we're the last people that had to call landline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No one ever, like the whole "Can I please speak with" is gone after us.
Well, I was confused if maybe he was calling you at work or something.
Yeah, I just don't know Phil's voice on the phone. Well, and
my office administrator. Hey, take this card and put it in the Rolodex. And she goes, "You know what a Rolodex is?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm not." But I guess, there are going to be people listening to this podcast who are like, "Rolodex? Is that like MDMA? Like, what is a Rolodex?"
Is that like a Pokedex, but for Rolos?
there you go.
Right. There it is. All right, amigos, have a good show. Let me know when this is on the air because I like to listen when I'm on things.
Tomorrow.
Oh, well, howdy. All right.
All right. Thanks, man.
You guys take care.
See ya.
All right, let's never use this cable again. Here, I'm going to go and unplug it from the board. There's a trash can right behind me.
You said toss it on in there. All right, yeah, so that was Phil of Second Breakfast fame not being able to hear any of Blake's comments. Or he or he just really hated Blake and would not acknowledge anything that he said.
What a douche.
I'm glad that our expert felt very uncomfortable answering that question. So I know we're a good company. I feel really bad. I mean, I felt really bad coming into this episode because I don't like James Bond, and I think it's interesting that Phil touched on the very reasons that I don't like James Bond.
Misogyny?
It's not just the misogyny, but it's just like it's the combination of misogyny in the formula because it's like it's in the formula of James Bond.
Yeah,
it's like it's going to happen in the movie.
Yeah,
he's going to be. I mean, he's gonna have sex with somebody. Like it's gonna like that's like part. It's like okay, tick this box. Did he have sex with somebody? Okay, good
box.
Hey, it is a James Bond movie, so I don't know. I've never read any of the books that the films are based on. I don't know if those.
Meg used to. That's how she improved her French, and she would read James Bond novels in French.
She real big Bond head.
I think that's all they had. The only French books in the bookstore close to her block when she lived in New York.
That is one of the most pretentious things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
See, you're so turned off by the concept. Like, I love the concept of 007. Like this total badass who has sex with
fucking girls and killing people.
So what if is that like wish fulfillment or like what's the?
That's Blake's first D&D character. So yeah, it's total wish fulfillment for Blake.
And the second one. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I was that nerd in school that never would have. I was never the badass. I was never the like cool guy. He's like the stereotypical cool guy.
I get it, but like I don't know, like. And it seems like the clips from the movies that I see and like this game, I feel like the spy shit is really interesting to me, but it like never seems like spy shit. It always just feels like it just feels like action. And like to me, that's not what espionage is about. Like I'm much more interested in something like, I guess just a boring movie. I guess just a boring movie where like a spy goes to another country and rigs an election.
Okay.
Something like that. Something with intrigue.
But the game wasn't just straight action. Like I feel like this is one of the first games where like stealth was a thing you could do. You can play it that way.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I was reading a little bit about it and I didn't realize kind of some of the stuff behind it, but like the first time you fired a gun, for example, like it had a sound radius and it could attract attention. The second time you fired it, the radius got bigger so that it would attract more people. Like And then the third time it got even bigger. So like stealth is a part of the game. Another cool thing I read, I remember this now, is that you can't see through window. The bad guys can't see through glass, but you can.
Yeah, that's also in my notes. Before we get to that, though, Dave, do you hear that?
I do hear that. It's the Blake leaves the station before the train.
Yep.
I thought we were on the train. I thought the train was going.
This has been such a weird start for a show that we ate
crazy.
burritos. we called Phil. I don't know. But yes, I do hear that. I hear that the huffing and puffing of Blake outrunning a goddamn train. That, of course, ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Okay, guys.
Did you shame all your guests like this?
Just you.
You haven't been listening. Okay, guys. GoldenEye 007, parentheses, 1997 video game. GoldenEye 007 is a first-person shooter video game developed by Rare and based on the 1995 James Bond film GoldenEye. It was exclusively released for the Nintendo 64 video game console in Japan on 23 August 1997 and internationally on 25 August 1997. The game features a single-player campaign in which players assume the role of British Secret Intelligence Service agent James T. Bond. Just made that up. I don't know what his middle initial is. As he fights to prevent a criminal syndicate from using a satellite weapon against London to cause a global financial meltdown. I don't know how do you use a satellite weapon to upset the London economy? I don't know how that works. I haven't seen the film, but I think you wouldn't have to use a giant satellite laser.
And you hear, "Oh no, our economy!" No.
It's right in the economy.
He blew up the economy building. What's going to happen to our economy? That's where he kept all our economies.
The game also includes a split-screen multiplayer mode in which 2, 3, or 4 players can compete in different types of deathmatch games. Here, this is an interesting thing I didn't know about the game. You guys probably did because you actually did the research. GoldenEye 007 was originally conceived as an on-rails shooter inspired by Sega's Virtua Cop. I'm familiar with that game. Before being redesigned as a free-roaming shooter. The game was highly acclaimed by the gaming media and has sold over 8 million copies worldwide, making it the third best-selling Nintendo 64 game. GoldenEye 007 is considered an important game for the history of first-person shooters for demonstrating the viability of game consoles as platforms for the genre and for signaling a transition from the then-standard Doom-like approach to a more realistic style.
Saying Doom wasn't realistic?
Not yet. I mean, one day Doom's going to be very realistic. You watch.
Well, when we land on Demos, it's going to get fucking real realistic. Was it Demos or Phobos? I don't remember.
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume Demos because
that
demons.
sounds more demonic.
Demons, yeah.
Phobos sounds almost nice.
Unless they wanted to, they were throwing a curveball. Isn't, Phobos the last name of Timmy from Lassie or something like that?
Timmy Phobos. From Des Moines, Iowa, Timmy Phobos. Of the famed House Phobos.
Is it a moon? It's a moon of something.
It is a moon.
Those are the moons of Mars.
Okay. Yeah, I like how you guys act like, oh, maybe it's something stupid. And I say, I think it's a moon. You're like, yeah, no, I think it is a moon. Blake.
Yeah, motherfucker. It's a fucking moon in the sky.
We got you. We got you so good. That's why I was like, hey, okay. We're going to get Blake on. Let's talk about some moons. He won't know the fuck about what we're talking about. Then we'll chastise him for it.
Also, I've seen every James Bond movie.
Oh, man. All right, this game, I'm going to say right out of the gate for me, I think the single player in this game is awful. I do not like it at all. I could never play more than a few levels before I just I hate this. Drop the controller, find some friends and do multiplayer. I loved
Did you play it when it
the
came
multiplayer.
out?
I did. I did actually. A friend of mine All my friends that had N64s had this game, and then another friend of mine, when I would go over there, he'd rent an N64 and rent this game and Star Fox. So those are games I'm familiar with.
I think I would have liked the single player when it came out. I didn't like it playing it this week.
Yeah,
because it has like a lot of the same problems that other first-person shooters of that time have. Like just a lot of confusing elements. My biggest pet peeve was I was in a mission and I botched the entire mission because I went through a door I wasn't supposed to go through. Like I didn't realize that like going through that door would just end the mission.
That's what James Bond does in the movies all the time. He opens doors and fucks up missions and has to start all over again.
I mean, right. As opposed to like, I don't know, just opening the door and being like, oh, this leads outside.
Let's not
just
do that
close
yet.
this and let's, yeah. So I don't know. But I mean, I thought it was okay. Like honestly, if this had been released and I could have played it with the mouse and keyboard when it came out, I probably really would have enjoyed this game. I appreciate what it did for first-person shooters on consoles, but man, it was a hard game to play. It was very difficult. I had the same problem as I did with Perfect Dark, where I just really I had to rely on auto aim. I did, because like aiming up and down with the C buttons was impossible. And then like they include where you can hold down like one of the shoulder buttons and you get a crosshair, which you can move around with the analog stick, and that's cool. I like that, but it was really hard to move it around with the analog stick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this would be one of those games. I mean, just like most of the Nintendo 64 games, like going back and playing with that just dumpster fire of a controller just makes it so much harder now that there's a clearly better way.
Yeah. I mean, it really makes me appreciate the dual stick shooters, because like I can play a shooter on a console now in pretty much no complaints. I still prefer to use a mouse, but it's not the end of the world. Like I'm competent enough where I can handle it on sticks. I'm not great, but at least it's not like
it doesn't feel awful,
right? Which it totally does on the N64.
Yeah.
It feels awful, and I get it. You know, they're working it out. This is a breakout thing for the console. Like I understand that. I understand the limitations. It is just incredibly difficult to like time travel back to 97 and play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe it was the stealth mechanic. Like, I still don't like stealth games now, but
yeah,
I really hated them back then. Like, really, really hated them. Like, it's to the point now where I'm just like, I just don't like them. As opposed to back then, it's like fucking bullshit. Throw it away. So like, there's some stuff I do appreciate. I like the sniper rifle in this game a lot.
Oh yeah.
Even though I did not know it had a scope on top of it. I thought it was something akin to a super soaker. It was just like ammunition or something in that big black tube on top of it. So I was like, oh, it's just a red and black super soaker. Okay, well, it aims pretty far.
I didn't even know. Honestly, I didn't know you could stealth in this game. Like, that's really cool. I didn't know like they had the audio mechanics. Like, of course, I realized the first gun you get, I think it's like the P7, and it has a silencer on it, and it kind of gave me an inkling. Okay, well maybe I can like take guys out quietly and work my way through the level. But then I got that like Soviet machine gun, and I was like, yes. Oh well, I'm just gonna Rambo this shit.
Yep.
Which is exactly what I did. I ran down corridors and like just tried to get as many of them as possible to follow me. And then I would stop, turn around, and then like annihilate the whole level of enemies.
Yeah.
This was originally developed on the Super Nintendo as a side-scrolling shooter.
Ooh.
I don't
Yeah,
even know how that would work.
Then they stopped that, and then because I guess it was at the end of the SNES's lifespan, said, "Oh well, we'll just try it on the new hardware." And then the multiplayer was tacked on in the last 6 weeks, just as an afterthought by one of the programmers.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, one dude.
Yep.
One guy was like,
one dude.
What was he just like? Hey, we got a couple weeks left. Let's throw this on.
Yeah.
Apparently, they just locked him in a room, and he did it.
So you mean one guy?
Wild, right?
So it wasn't like one guy's idea. Like it was one guy's idea who then programmed it.
The whole Rare
team
team that did this was 10 people.
Damn. That's pretty
It was
impressive.
10 people, and none of them had much experience, right?
Yeah.
One of them was James Bond, to be fair.
Okay.
One was the guy from Golden Boy and then actual James Bond. It was really good.
All the previous incarnations of James Bond.
Because I know they went out and toured all the sites out of all the levels and things like that before they designed them, and tried making it, because it's still kind of linear. They tried to make it seem not linear with all like the weird like hallways that end in nothing and weird little crooks and cranes that you can go around. But
Which is the one thing I hate about the game the most, I think. Like, this game kind of holds a special place in my heart. Me and my brother used to play this constantly. And
how many times did you physically hurt each other after playing this?
Yeah, a bunch. Definitely a bunch. What would happen was we'd be playing and someone would like run through in front and jerk the cord out of the console, and then you would then use that loose cord to beat the person. Yeah, a bunch. But they were good. I mean, those were good memories, but there are good memories of us playing together as well with this game. But the one thing I hate the most is like the non-linear aspects. Like, you get lost in that fucking game so easy. Especially the one where you're going through where all the monuments and broken stuff is when you're trying to meet I can't remember who it is, Janus, when you're meeting the Russian mafia people. Yeah, just running back and forth. Which way am I supposed to go? Like, I hated that the most. I wish it had been more linear in a few of the parts of it.
There's a lot of that, and there's a lot of not knowing how to open a door is a problem that like I ran into constantly, and getting a vague message like, I mean, it reminds me of like text adventures almost, in the regard where it's like, this door is open somewhere else. All right, thanks.
A lot of times this, in comparison to PC shooters, if you had a lot of explosions on the screen, or if you were playing multiplayer, or if you made a big train of bad guys, the frame rate would drop to between 10 and 20.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like, okay, like someone knocks the round, make a sandwich, kind of, all right, wait for these explosions to end. So it wasn't, I still don't think, it did a lot for console shooters.
Yeah.
But it's still not the place to play a shooter.
I mean, the limitation of the hardware, right? I mean, I think I would like to see what they could have done on like the PlayStation. I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
There's reboots now, right?
There are a lot of like mods for it, and the online community has taken it, and like there are fusions between it and Perfect Dark and it and Doom, and
I thought there was an official one though. I thought they came out not that long ago with like an official reboot of it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
What was it released on? Do you know?
Oh, I know the PlayStation. I think it was weird because getting it released to, man, I'm gonna have to look this up now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it got redone and re-released on several different consoles. I know the Wii was one of them.
I would play that, honestly. Like, I mean, if the controls are modern controls,
yeah,
and the textures are like HD and stuff like that, I would definitely play through the single player. Because
I'm gonna look it up while you're doing that.
One of my favorite things about the single player is the briefing beforehand is really cool, because it's like there's a file folder, and I mean, it's a long description of like what you need to do and like where you're going and what your objectives are. I really enjoyed that. I read through all of those, and it kind of like it got me into it. It was immersive, a lot more immersive, I thought, than Perfect Dark, which I want to just go ahead and say that, man, I feel like this game is a lot better than Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even close. I hated Perfect Dark. I even bought the new one when the Xbox was 360.
Yeah. When they
released for the 360.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. People like remember that game so fondly. I'm like, this is a bad version of GoldenEye. This is not that good.
Yeah.
I was surprised that there was that much difference, because they're both rare games. I know Perfect Dark came out after GoldenEye. But GoldenEye is a lot more fun. I mean,
it used the same game engine, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because they like, go ahead.
Yeah, so James Bond game license was acquired by Activision. And they produced a couple of new ones, the Quantum of Solace and Bloodstone. But then they reimagined the 64 game, which it was entitled GoldenEye, and it actually features Daniel Craig, who is the new James Bond, as a playable character. And then there's a few updates with first-person modern shooter conventions, new level layouts, and was online.
Okay.
Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. So there you go.
Interesting. So it's not it's in the same vein as GoldenEye, but it sounds like they rebuilt it completely.
Yeah, I think from the ground up.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the same story, same basic characters.
Okay, cool.
So you should check it out.
You want to go over some of the commercial gripes about the game?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm surprised it has any, because I know, like, reading online has just been...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, this is like... I think I hear more positive things about this game than I do Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like the objective system. Like, that it was kind of shitty where you just get, like, these 3 or 4 very vague objectives, like, get teledata. And then you can fuck it up very easily.
Yeah.
And the enemy AI, like you said, Blake, earlier, they can't see through windows.
God, it's fucking hilarious.
Their grenade, however they deal with grenades, is ridiculous. Especially like if a scientist manages to get injured, they'll just fucking go grenade crazy, and it doesn't matter. Like in a hallway, drop a grenade, or if you walk past anybody, you'll be right in somebody's face with like slapping them, and they'll like throw a grenade across the room.
That's supposed to be like a chop, but yes, it does look like you're just ineffectively pawing at their face.
It's what it's referring to whenever you play multiplayer and just the chop. It's not just playing all slappers, because you just
Tyler, all slappers,
dog. Again with the objectives, like how you're supposed to know like what screen you're supposed to throw modems at. And apparently, modems are just all sticky. You just throw these modems on various screens, and all right, science.
Got it.
Science happens. Yeah, spy science.
It's 97. No one really knows
What
how the internet works.
Yeah. Modem thrower 2000. Chop, 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 chop. Key scanner, scan this key thing. Okay, all right, we're done. And the AI, because there'll be like guards standing on various doors. Get the sniper rifle, zoom in, shoot him in the head. Ugh. And they both just stand there like, that was weird. I'm sure that's not going to happen again. But one of them dies, other one still stands there perfectly still until he gets shot in the head to death and falls down.
Man, can we talk about the AI?
That's ridiculous, but how much fun is that? Like, I loved dropping people from so far away. Like, that was one of the things I loved the most.
Dude, the AI is fucking hilarious. Like, it's like a game in itself, just like seeing the AI. Like, one of my favorite moments from this game is I am shuffling around in an air duct, and I come out on top of a bathroom. That's the first scene of the game. It's the second. It's the second level of the game. And I'll never forget, I peek out. There is a fucking AI soldier in the bathroom stall. I aim my pistol at him. I shoot his hat off.
He's like, what?
And no reaction. None. It's like nothing happened. So then I drop down, walk out the door, open his stall door, and he's surprised to see me.
No, he just thought that was God. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have taken my hat off the doors. Okay, sorry, God.
And then they're constantly doing the Austin Powers roll, where it's like they're in the middle of a hallway. There's absolutely zero cover. And I'm shooting at them, and he decides to like dive and roll to the other side of the hallway, where it's just like he just makes himself easier to hit. And then he like just flops around on the floor.
Well, apparently they also don't use cover. So that means the escort missions also get super frustrating because your escorts act the exact same way as the enemies, like rolling around, not using cover, just running into walls. Like, the escorts in this are the fucking worst.
They are the worst. This is the worst part of the game.
Like that one woman you have to like escort between terminal to terminal to terminal, and she can easily just like get stuck, and you have to like hit hard reset and do the level all over again.
Yeah.
I think I saw you do that a lot, Blake, when you were playing, because I watched you play this like 2 years ago. at one of the cabin
parties. That's why I wanted Blake on, because like he's the only one of us that will have played through this multiplayer all the way through.
Yeah, no, it's super frustrating because they're just stupid. But I mean, do you expect more from the game?
No. No.
I feel like that's not a fair criticism, though, right? Because, I mean, none of these games have good AI. AI didn't exist.
I think you misunderstand me. I don't mean it as a criticism. I honestly think it's a charming aspect of the game. Like that is no joke. There's no irony in that. Like it is like the AI brought me so much fucking joy, and because they're just the fucking dumbest. And like I lured a whole bunch of them. This is the first level. There's like all these watchtowers.
Oh right. Yeah,
and I would go and round up AI soldiers and then run up a watchtower, and they would like red coat British Army style single file come up the stairs, so I could just stand at the top and just shoot them one by one as they came up. None of them like, I don't know, they didn't come up with a plan where it's like maybe we shouldn't like just form a convenient murder line.
Form ranks, you know what to do.
Forward march. I feel like modern games you should be able to dumb up the AI like that. I think if I could go on like Modern Warfare and just make everyone stupid and just mow them down, I think that'd be a blast.
I forget what that technique in war is called, where you just like not really any strategy, you just throw numbers at the enemy over and over and over again until they fall down. I don't think Blitzkrieg. That's the German thing. So I know it wasn't like I know this reference because that's how Grant won the Civil War. Is because the North had a bigger population, so he just fucking threw soldiers down there, just crammed them in there as much as he could until South fell. So
the Russians as well, because they had a large military, and they could. John Turley, Burger Bottom fame, as often I remember him saying that a lot of times, like when Russian soldiers would go in. They would have the guys in front would have guns, and the guys in back would just pick up the guns off the guys in front who died. Like they just didn't go in with guns because they're just like, well, those guys in front are gonna die, so you don't need all these guns. You can just use that dead guy's gun.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, man. Come on. I think because the Blitzkrieg is more like guerrilla style, like
Blitzkrieg's
hit someone hard and run. I believe. I could be wrong about that.
It means like lightning strike or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was like a World War II tactic that Germany used a lot.
I feel like this whole podcast is you guys setting me up to say things.
Say something wrong, Blake. Do it. It's zerging essentially, right? That's what Blitzkrieg is. It's zerging.
Yeah. To my memory, yes. To my AP US history memory, yes.
Yeah. That's how my teacher explained it, actually. Like, in StarCraft, where you can just make those Zerglings just real fast and just rush in.
Did you see that they announced a new expansion for StarCraft?
Yeah, I got an email today. I'm in the closed beta for that.
Nice.
I have never played a StarCraft, not even one level, ever.
They look like so much fun until you start playing them, and you're like, fuck, this is so hard.
Well, I was going to give you the caveat of me being in the beta. Like, I was super excited, and then I kept reading the email, and I was like, oh, this is a multiplayer-only beta. Guess I'm not going to install that, because everyone in the world is better at StarCraft than me. Like, Tyler, if you installed it right now,
Koreans.
If you installed StarCraft 2 right now, I promise you could beat me.
I don't know.
Or we'll just blitzkrieg each other.
Your Warcraft experience will probably come into play at some point. We'll fucking demos the Phobos on that blitzkrieg, and Blake won't know what's going on.
You see, you would think that my Warcraft experience would carry over. That was honestly my biggest complaint about StarCraft when it came out, was that I felt like none of it translated. Because like the hotkeys are different and all the units are different. This is a GoldenEye show. Sorry, it's a GoldenEye show.
Yeah, that was my fault. Did
you guys know everything explodes in this game? Like you shoot filing cabinets, they explode. There are models of like planes and cars on desks. Shoot them, they explode,
and they hurt you.
It reminds me of the first time I was running. Well, one of the first D&D sessions I did with a group of my students, and like they're fighting in the streets, and I was like, they're like, describe what's around. I'm like, there are some barrels, and they're like, I bet they're full of gunpowder. Let's shoot the barrel. I'm like, why the fuck would you be storing gunpowder?
Just barrels out in the streets.
But no, they hit him. I was like, all right, they explode. They were full of gunpowder.
They were full of chicken, which exploded.
You're in the explosive chicken district. That's I did like that. This is the first game that actually appealed to me on a certain level where I could shoot locks and actually open doors.
Oh yeah,
and it's really obvious.
Yeah,
because like I remember the first time I saw a lock, and I was like, "Oh, you're supposed to shoot this off," because it's like that. Like you remember when you were watching Scooby Doo.
Yep,
and like,
you know it's gonna move.
Yeah, because it's like you can tell what cell was painted. It's like, okay, well, someone's gonna like that door's gonna open because it looks way different than all the other doors.
I remember realizing that before Ryan did when we were little, so I could tell him and blow his fucking mind. He's gonna come out of that one. How do you? Oh!
I still play that joke on my wife though, where like I'll hear something earlier in the day, or like I'm watching like a football game that I've already like heard what happens. I'm like, oh, he's gonna pass it here. And then it'll happen. She's like, man, you're right again.
I dated a very dumb girl in college that the entire length of time we dated, she thought I had a voice-activated starter in my car. And it was on my keychain. I just put my key in my pocket. I go, car start, and then press it. And it would start up. And she'd be like, oh, my God. These Celicas are awesome. Yep. New 2000
nice.
model.
How did that one end?
Because we only did it for like 2 months maybe, and it ended like I got into it really bad with her best friend, and then we just never
into it.
No, we got in an argument.
You smashed some guts.
That was back. That was back in my conservative days, and they smoked a bunch of weed, and I got upset and got in an argument with her best friend about it, and then we just never spoke again. So, yep.
So technically, you're still together.
Technically, yeah. I guess Denise and I are still going out.
You're allowed to have sex with her still.
Which I remember Jacob was like, God, that girl is so dumb. God, that girl is so dumb. And she's not like usually like smart brunettes, and she's just a really dumb blonde girl who's like super athletic. This is not going to last very long. He's right.
You guys friends on Facebook?
Nope. We were at one point.
Yeah, really. We need pictures for the show notes. I agree with Blake. Let's as a TADPOG community cyber stalk this person.
Everyone friend her and don't say I know her.
Let's flood her Facebook inbox with friend requests.
And then ask her if she's started like, seen those new like voice starter cars? Have you seen those? Yeah. Weed's the devil.
One other thing on that same vein of exploding stuff, one of my favorite things to do was to shoot people in both arms and then both legs, because it was one of the first, maybe it might be the first game, I don't know, where like there were different hit boxes on the bodies, right?
Yeah.
And then, but my favorite thing to do is after you do that, like they'll be squirming around, and you just walk up and you shoot them in the nuts like 20 times. I shot so many nuts in that game.
Because different body parts deal different amounts of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you could knock off their hats, disarm them, all sorts of things.
You can knock off their
hats. Yeah, you can just walk through, just jumping and slapping everybody's hats off. Objective complete.
Well, that's what I love.
Be a total dick. Objective.
I played on the easiest mode, so it was a lot of fun to me to like run into a group of 3 soldiers who are firing assault rifles, and I'm just slapping them in the face.
Yeah, I think GoldenEye is when this started for me. Is like I have no desire to beat a game on the hardest difficulty at all. Like I just want to run through, have fun, do like impose my will, and then be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the single player just because of the AI. Honestly, like it made the game fun, and it was really weird that it's in like a 007 box, because I would expect that to be like really serious and dry.
Yeah.
But it's like the fucking comedy that ensues within this game single player. I mean, it is fucking ridiculous. Like
circus music behind.
Yeah, I mean, like
the Benny Hill theme just slapping people in the face.
You can make a film adaptation of a single player playthrough of this game. And it would be funnier than Austin Powers was.
College Humor did a pretty good, like, real life playing of GoldenEye of the people playing and talking as their competitors in a real life game. That was pretty good. That'd be a good show notes.
Show notes.
Did you guys see the chat roulette where they did that?
Yes.
That thing is freaking awesome. It was like a zombie game. It's awesome.
You're talking about like where they did the first person shooter over chat roulette?
Yeah, it came on and they're like you're in a room. No, it came up. Oh, it was a camera of just the guy's body, and you could see his hands, like a first person shooter. And it's like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, go around. They find guns and stuff, and then zombies come, and you have to tell them to like run away and where to find like keys to the rooms. It was so cool.
You know what my favorite part of that video is?
What's that?
In the very beginning, there's a guy in a Batman shirt who's totally tugging on his dick when it shows out, because like you don't see his hand is kind of like off frame in his crotch region, and then he sees the guy and like his hand just like kind of jerks up to his chest, like his dad just caught him masturbating or something.
Do you think he was like, okay, gonna go in chat roulette? Let's see, Batman shirt. This is my lucky shirt. I've gotten
probably
so many good responses while jerking it.
Probably.
Some of the Easter eggs in this game, because I know in the first level you can get on this one far like eastern spot, get the sniper rifle and zoom way the fuck out, and you can see a secret island. That remember. There were rumors all over the place about how to get there, what this place was. Like, clearly it was another, like, island, and people eventually found out, like, it was a level that was dropped, and you can get there using cheats, but it's still there in the code to see it. You can't actually access it without, cheating. There is a hidden, like, ZX Spectrum emulator in the code.
Really?
That you can unlock. Yeah.
Apparently there's like 4 or 5 games that were in there at one point that they dropped out but didn't get rid of in the code that people later figured out how to emulate.
That's why you need that 11th guy to erase that stuff.
There was a glitch because some weapons you can wield dual-handed, and there is a sort of a glitch where you try to reload one while switching the other one, and if you do it fast enough and quick enough, you will then do different weapons. So combinations like you shouldn't be able to do that become broken or way too powerful. So you can dual wield huge, massive guns. At one point you can. Well, I'll save that one for later.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll save that one.
What was y'all's favorite gun?
The throwing knife.
It's not
really?
a gun.
The throwing knife.
Are you choosing the throwing knife because it's not a gun?
The club. It's the shittiest one in the game, and then they named it after Ken Lobb, a Nintendo executive.
Is that true?
Yes.
In that vein, my favorite gun's the slap.
My favorite thing on multiplayer was proximity mines.
That was the best.
Proximity mines in the temple. Loved it.
So talk about the multiplayer, because I did not experience the multiplaire. I've never played it. I've seen
you would
people
probably
play
hate it now.
I'm sure I would.
It's something. Everything about GoldenEye. I don't feel like it set a lot of standard, but it's so old and beaten down, and because it was first, like it just doesn't. It ages horribly.
Well,
that's because everything after it stole everything, right? Like this is the first of all these things, and now these are all cliche. But it started the cliche.
Yep, that's totally true.
Like, yeah,
I cannot imagine playing this game with 3 other people, especially in 1997, like on a small S television. I cannot even begin to imagine that is fun.
Oh, I did it so much. I did it so much. Yeah.
How did you see anything. I played it on your giant television, Tyler, and I had a hard time when I was using the sniper rifle seeing enemies. Like, I mean, I don't understand how you.
Well, you're not going to use the sniper rifle in multiplayer, like,
No.
at all. I mean, there are a few spots maybe you can camp up a little bit, but players don't have the enemy AI, so it's like you shoot and miss, and then, oh, okay, now they're coming for you. So, and then they can screen peek you and see you, like, crouched up somewhere. It doesn't
Screen
work.
peek? Is that where you like look at somebody's Hollywood square on the same television?
We called it die in a fire, you fucking cheater.
Well, I've seen like the photos online of like people who've like set up these cardboard dividers that split up the screen. Usually it's on the PC Master Race subreddit.
But because it was as long as no one could be odd job or you all were odd job.
Right.
That's the short guy.
That's the short character, and because it's hard to it's hard to do up and down and everything like that. So everyone being the same height, chest height, so you can just run after them and shoot them. Odd job being half that height, he was super difficult to hit.
Yeah. Hey, I once took Oddjob out on a date. He went up on me.
That'll make sense when you get to the end of the episode, listener.
When you get to the stinger. And then, like, Jaws was the worst. Jaws was super tall and super slow, so I always thought it was cool. I'm going to be Jaws. I was out almost immediately anytime I was Jaws.
They put a shark in the game?
Yep. It doesn't make any sense. You're just Jaws
weird.
flopping around.
I guess that island makes a lot more sense now, I guess.
Yeah, I thought the multiplayer was a ton of fun. But yeah, like you said earlier, like the most fun I had on multiplayer was proximity mines only. It might have been the temple. Was that the one with the cave? Like there's a bunch of like tunnels and like caves. I can't remember the name of that one.
I think it was just the caves.
Okay, that was the one we loved. So like you had no guns and you just put proximity mines all over the fucking place, and so you just have to be super careful about running around corners, and you're trying to hide them like above doorways and stuff. God, it was so much fun.
So what stops you from just remaining perfectly still and hoping that the other person blows himself up?
That's not fun.
Okay,
Dave.
all right, but you'd win, and winning's fun. You know that.
Well, that's true. No,
I liked playing with the golden gun. Not many other people did because it was a one-shot kill, or two-shot if you have armor. But,
cheap.
But I thought it was fun playing. Just so if you happen to see each other, it was just a samurai duel of and run.
Yeah.
So just see what happens. Throwing knives was fun. Slappers was fun, but it was very, very long.
Slappers, I love that.
Any of the mines were pretty cool. But the ones that you could remote detonate. So set up an area, go and hide somewhere, and then if they don't see it, when you can screen peek, see them running by, and
the original camping right there.
Is the sticky modem a weapon in multiplayer? Can you access somebody's financial records and ruin them?
There were a shit ton of characters in the multiplayer too, like Bond villains and characters and side characters from all over.
That's cool.
And all the other Bonds were supposed to be playable characters, but they ended up getting cut in the final version.
They'd be DLC today.
That would be the last thing they'd cut, right? Like, it's a Bond game. Why would you cut Bonds out of them?
Other than that, I thought multiplayer was a blast. I guess because really there's nothing else like it. You can't go back to it now. Like, if we were all hanging out, like staying up all night, we'd probably have fun with it, but it's a very limited thing now.
Yep.
So
yeah, which is sad, right? Because this is like an awesome, like this game is objectively awesome, but like you just can't talk about it now anymore because it's nothing but cliche now. Like it's hard to go back because all these things that we love in modern games came from this, and this feels derivative, which is not fair.
It's like I know I've mentioned on the show before. It's Seinfeld syndrome, where Seinfeld is not as funny to people who haven't seen it because all the jokes have been cut and chopped and thrown into other shows that people have seen. So it feels unoriginal, even though it was very original. I kind of feel like GoldenEye was, original.
No, I think
that's it. A breakout game.
Yeah. Here's something in my notes, but forgot to mention. Wood, metal, stone, and glass all have different sounds when you shoot them with a gun, and the texture looks different when you shoot them.
Is that the one that you were saving?
Nope.
I'm ready for that. I'm hoping it's a Blitzkrieg reference.
It could be. Do you guys have any achievements for this game?
I'm not done talking about this game.
Okay.
Man, you
Go
just
ahead.
ready to shut it down. Are we long?
Well, you asked me about what I was saving it for. So I was like, all right.
That
You could just say it. We don't have to end the show.
No.
Jesus.
We're very dedicated to the formula, Dave. We don't deviate ever.
Extremely dedicated to the formula. Let's do the formula now all of a sudden. Let's do that right this instant.
Yeah, I don't think Dave ever said his opening line.
No, we didn't even fucking introduce ourselves. Did you catch that? No one knows who we are right now. No one.
Who are these people?
No one. They know who you are. They know it's Blake and then these two fuckers.
No, Tyler started. Tyler's the one who started this whole mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Technically, Tyler's dad started this whole mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw us off, and then I surprised Dave by like, hey, let's call Phil a second breakfast. So
Yeah, and then hey, let's all eat this shit.
let's eat gross hot garbage.
That was a pleasant surprise, honestly. The hot garbage was an incredibly pleasant surprise. The finding out that our audio cable is completely fucked up, that wasn't a fun surprise. That one put me on edge a little bit. And then when we did it for round 2, I don't know. Hey, this didn't work once. Let's do it again.
I can probably hold it still most of the time again. So those moments where Phil got really quiet, that was me laughing or,
That was Tyler
or
not
shifting
being
slightly.
still.
Yep.
You have an audio record of when Tyler is not still. You're welcome, Internet.
Who's
another
not a
good
weeping
idea.
angel? Not
Let's
me.
have a guest host, and then let's do a bunch of calls where that guest host can't communicate with the people that we're talking with.
You talk shit to the guest host, and he just keeps talking.
I'm your bespectacled host, Dave. And I... What is up with the kill cam in this game? Does that happen in multiplayer? Because it's like when you
count?
kill cam, when you die in this game, they show it to you 4 times
I forgot about that.
from various different angles. I don't know if it's supposed to be cinematic. The first time it happened, I was really confused. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know if I was now playing or like this was just, and I was like, oh no, this is just the game shaming me.
Yeah, it's like James
for making a
Bond should
mistake.
never die, and you killed him, so you're gonna fucking know about it.
It's gonna happen 4 times.
You sit there and you watch it.
You watch a new reality spin into existence because he shouldn't have died.
So no one's seen this movie.
GoldenEye the movie? No.
Blake? No. Okay. So no one can answer this question.
Well, maybe. What's the question?
Is that bitchin' metal ballad? Did they use that in the GoldenEye movie?
We can call Phil back again.
Wait, the 007 theme?
It's the 007, but it's like as done by shitty Metallica.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just
they use the same.
It's
music.
a 90s-ism. Mm-hmm. And then there's a heartbeat at the very beginning of the game. I don't know what that's about.
I don't remember that.
You just turn it on and it's like you're playing Populous. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Now I definitely want to know what you were saving, Tyler.
You guys
I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Got a couple questions.
All right. Okay.
Better. Well, see, this is going to be hard for us to answer. Can you think of a better game that came from a movie first?
What? That came out before GoldenEye, you mean?
No, or after.
Hook.
What's the best game that started out as a movie?
Subjectively for me, Jaws for the NES.
Oh God.
I know.
Shut up.
I know.
Without nostalgia glasses, that's hard to say. Because like I loved Hook for the Super Nintendo, but when we get to that, I don't know how that's going to be received. Another game from a movie. Because Taran asked this a question sort of like this. I guess GoldenEye would have been a good response, but I never saw that movie.
Yeah, I just can't think of another game that I really enjoyed that started out the IP started out as a movie.
All the Batman titles were awful that were based on movies for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jurassic Park for the Genesis.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
valid.
yeah.
Be the Raptor.
Yeah, be the Raptor. That's all you need.
You either have to beat the game in 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I like some of the Disney ones.
Aladdin.
That's good. Aladdin, the Lion King.
Well, not Lion King, but Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah. Okay, just wondering.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So I've got one.
Hold on, I got another one. Did you have a favorite level? Because I have a very specific level that I really loved.
No.
Okay.
I did.
The level where you're captured, I think it's the archives, where there's a gun on the table, and you have to grab the gun and then shoot the guard. I probably played that 200 or 300 times easily. Because I love seeing how fast I could snatch it off the table and shoot the guy in the head.
I think that's cool that you can replay missions.
Yeah.
You bringing that up reminds me of that. Like, you can just go back and replay a mission if you want to. I think that's cool. And you can change the difficulty.
Is that your fucking questions, Blake?
Yeah, I'm done. Oh, I've got another question. How dare you?
You guys got any achievements?
I do.
Okay.
I've got a couple of achievements. The first achievement I unlocked immediately when the opportunity arose. It's called 187 on 006. In order to unlock 187 on 006, you murder your fellow agent seconds after meeting him. Because there's a part in the second mission where he shows up and he's like, a bunch of guys are going to come kill us. And the first thing I did was, I wonder if you can kill your fellow agent. You can. You can just you just murder him right there.
Here's the thing, though. If you did that, really you would have won the game because he's a double agent and you would have stopped all the shit before it happened.
I didn't know that. That's great.
But I bet that
he
failed
dies,
some kind of important objective.
Done.
Okay.
You think you're like, he died. But then he comes back.
I made sure he was dead.
Just bam, bam, bam to the ground.
I shot his arms, his legs, and then his nuts, which is my second achievement. None shall pass. And I have one more achievement, and that is Smile, you son of a bitch. And in order to unlock Smile, you son of a bitch, you kill Jaws with a proximity mine in multiplayer.
Nice.
I like it.
Blake, do you have any?
No, I totally forgot. That was the thing.
That's how long it's been since you listened to the show.
You guys do that thing?
Oh, man, that's right. They do that. I'll eat this burrito.
Moves by Sycamore Drive? Yeah?
No, okay, I'll give you that one.
That's good.
I've got 4. The first one is Chop Chop Master Onion. And that is where you finish a level using only the chop.
I remember that reference from when Rhythm Master Paul was on.
Yep. Parappa the Rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Meanie, which is finish a mission with full armor on.
Okay.
Because people still apparently buy the watch face that has the health meter of red on the left and the blue meter on the right.
Dude, I really like that. I love that that's how you see your health and your armor, because it only pops up when it's necessary. So the design is brilliant because it lets you know a bunch of things all at once with a simple interface. It lets you know you're being hit by something because it's not going to pop up otherwise. And it lets you at a glance see your health and where your armor is. I love that. And it keeps the screen uncluttered. And it only pops up when it's necessary, which is super important for a console game because you don't have the resolution that you would have in a PC game. So it's that's really, really nice design element. I think that was brilliant.
Also smooth as fuck. It's the perfect 007 move.
Yeah.
Yep.
The third is Blowjob, and that is where you use Jaws to kill Oddjob in multiplayer.
Okay.
And the last one
is Rim Job.
Being what I was saving.
It's Reginald Johnson.
It's where you play the online mode where you import Carl from Family Matters, and he only has the one gun, and he dies when you shoot his hat off.
But it's Carl from Die Hard.
Oh, okay. That's a totally different Carl. That's easy mode and hard mode Carl. One man militia, which is something you can. It's not exactly. It's sort of an Easter egg, I guess, because you have to beat the game and unlock a all weapons mode. But during one point in the game, you get inside and control a tank. When you unlock the all weapons mode, you can turn on the tank, and James Bond just has the tank gun as a weapon. There's no like scope or like the long thing. You just like look at things and they explode.
You will them out of existence.
Exactly. So one man militia is using the tank gun outside of the tank. That's what I was saving.
Blake, that was plenty of time for you to come up with at least one.
Yeah, I got one.
Great.
I was waiting for the pause. Mine is Lana! And it's every time you see Natalia, you just run up and try to hump her leg. So, yeah. That's all I got. One.
That's not bad. I mean, you turned it in last minute. It's kind of your thing. I get it. So, yeah, it works.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Any more shit you want to pile on me? Go ahead.
Well, I've got a question.
Okay.
It's for Tyler, though.
Good.
Tyler.
Just Dave.
This has been a bumpy ride, I feel like.
I've liked this. I've liked this ride.
You love this chaos.
Because, I mean, we were both like, God, we're going to talk about GoldenEye. I don't know what we're going to say. So, kept it mixed up enough so we weren't like dragging in the dregs.
There's more game talk in this than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. Blake, of course, was a big help for that.
I tried, and every time I did, I got shit for it. So.
Yeah, but you like it. That's sort of the dynamic of our friendship. So.
I don't know that he likes it, but he does laugh when it happens. So it totally encourages the behavior.
Well, Blake, he likes giving it, but that's the charming thing about Blake. It's also amusing to him when he gets it. So.
No, I like looking stupid. Yeah, it's fun.
Next time you come up, Blake, I think we should all have a big N64 cord fight.
Everyone can wear a diaper, and that's it.
Man, you just described my fetish.
Well, it's like that time, like I know I told on a show about it a long time ago, that kid I just whipped into just being covered in welts with an NES cord. Because when I was asleep, he went in there and sat his bare ass on my face.
You told this on the show, and I don't remember it.
I went to sleep first at the sleepover in high school, and the kid came over, pulled out his pants, sat on my face, and then ran away laughing.
Him.
So I stood up, and the first thing I saw was his NES attached to his TV. So I unscrewed it, unplugged it, and then whipped it up like a dad does a belt, and like. John will describe the scene as like seeing me emerge with thunder in my eyes. And I ran over, pinned him down, and then just whipped the shit out of him. Just all over big red raised welts, just all over him. And I beat him till he cried with this Nintendo, the cord that screws in the back of the TV.
To be fair, I mean, he did ruin Reginald Johnson's for you forever. You can't give one now without thinking of that.
I didn't lick someone's ass for like 3 weeks.
It's fine if you choose to do it, but when someone forces you to, they need to get theirs. I'm just picturing you just going at this kid, and then like you suddenly see a little bit of a splatter of blood on Tyler's face, and he just keeps wailing.
He's already dead.
It's like the scene.
Tyler, no, stop! Like you deserved it. Sorry, that got dark.
We like it. Like Charisma Carpenter's nipples. We like it.
Go on.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it, Tyler. I'm glad you enjoyed the chaos. But before we end the chaos, before we close the Necronomicon, I've got a few questions for you. The first being, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard do you think you'd give it?
Because it's older and was more appreciated in its time and then now looks sort of ridiculous, I have to give it Carlton's mustache from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
It does look ridiculous now. Like, watch. I saw a clip the other day, and it was one of those things where it's like, I forgot that he had a mustache.
Yeah. I wrote down Carlton's mustache, and I was like, wait a minute, does he have a mustache?
Let me
And I
double-check
had to Google it and check.
Carlton's mustache also sounds like a sex move.
It's where you pay a high price hooker not to remember who you are. A good old Carlton's mustache.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you would give this game, I don't know, a pair of glasses maybe, what kind of glasses would you give it?
In the same vein as the first one.
Carlton's glasses.
in that, like, in its day, it was so heavily, like, loved. And then looking back on it now by people who didn't catch it in its day, it just looks ridiculous and it's overdone and overquoted. So I have to give it Austin Powers black frame glasses.
Man, that I remember when that movie came out. Think there's a whole bunch of babies in my yearbook from that year, and man, that's a movie I haven't watched since high school, and it's a movie
Years.
that I don't think that I want to watch again because I have a feeling that I'm going to like feel shame that I thought it was hilarious. I'm really worried that's what's going to happen.
Do you think it'd be funny in like I feel like I don't even feel like I could laugh at it again.
I know.
Like, I feel like it
No
would,
way.
I feel like that
No way.
like deep-seated sense of shame
I
would just
know.
overwhelm me.
Yeah,
Like
like you
that-
loved it back in the day. Fuck.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
That's the one that's one of the movies that I am so not looking forward to, like when Henry is 12 or something and he like it's on Netflix or something and like he says something like, who would think this is funny? Like that is gonna be like the deepest, darkest pit of shame for me.
It's like, let's just watch The Love Guru.
I've got another
You
question.
like Shrek? Shut up.
I don't even know. I haven't seen Shrek since it came out.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
It's
sure. I
good.
bet
Myself.
Shrek holds up. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't look like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation at this point.
No.
Some people still love that so much.
Yeah.
I don't hear people like Austin Powers, man. Fuck yeah, that's my jam. That's my jam still.
Next Dragon Con, I'm going as Austin Powers.
Because I still, when they do it, when people do the Dr. Evil pinky thing,
Yeah.
fuck, that makes me cringe
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
And I still have seen people do it. And it just,
I am not gonna lie. I will go for a frickin' lasers reference though. Like, you know, like, I just can't. I can't escape that. That's like the tractor beam of Austin Powers. Like whenever I just can't not make that reference.
when Dr. Evil was on Saturday Night Live, though, like a few months ago, that was nice.
Yeah.
That was good. That made me feel like if they did another one now that really poked fun at itself back then, I feel like now it could fly. But
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have a couple of references that I still actually use from that movie. Because sometimes I'll do the liquid hot magma. I don't know why. I don't know how it comes up as often as it seems to.
Because it's hilarious.
well, yeah, Blake, you also do Bumblebee Tuna from Ace Ventura pretty frequently. I mean, the last time we hung out, you did that. So
Bumblebee Tuna, my friend.
And then the one where he's like talking. What's his son's name?
Scott.
Scott. Yeah. He's like making fun of Scott, and he asks him if he's gonna cry. He's like, "Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna squirt some?" And I still, when my son is getting like upset, and I can see he's on the verge, I'm like, "Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna squirt some?"
I mean, you know that's from another movie, though.
Is it?
It's from a movie called The Great Santini.
No, I had no idea.
It's a very,
I didn't know that either.
it's a very sad, crushing scene as this dad, like, he beats his son at basketball, and the
with a
son,
Nintendo cord.
and then the son is going up to his room, and he's chastising his son, yelling at him,
shit.
and he's bouncing the basketball off his head, saying, "What, are you gonna cry now? What are you gonna do? You gonna cry? You gonna squirt a little?" Like it's a heartbreaking scene.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's from a movie like Deep Throat. What, are you gonna squirt some?
It's from the Peter North's first movie.
It's one line of dialogue is delivered by one actor, the other by the other actor. What, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna squirt some?
See, that's one of
now
my weird.
I feel like real dog shit because like I'm like doing that to my son. I think it's a joke, but it's really reliving this really dramatic thing of a father actually beating his son.
Yeah. See, that's one of my weird. I don't like movies. That's one of my weird bardic knowledge things that I actually know.
Have you seen that movie, or
I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
Jacob's the one who told me about it. Yeah.
I'm a terrible father.
We're gonna name the episode the one where Blake realizes he's a terrible father.
And parentheses and some GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Words do hurt, Dad.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Everyone can answer this one. What I want to know is, how much is this game on Amazon used? If you were to buy it right now, how much do you think you'd pay for it?
$14.
Oh, I'm going way lower than that.
$14. Blake, you're off site. You can cheat if you want.
Nah, $6.20.
$6.20 from Blake. All right. One of you is very close. One of you is extremely close. Actual retail value of GoldenEye used on Amazon at the time of this recording is $14.29.
Yeah.
Tyler, you were within 29 cents.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's
Nicely
rare.
done.
You know, normally I would say, so Blake, you're a very competitive person. You like
I could tell this meant a
multiplayer
lot to
co-op.
Blake.
Yeah, he's upset, right? He's upset right now that he lost, even over this. And I would say that Blake like respects combat and multiplayer and competition and doesn't cheat. But as soon as you said that, it reminded me of the one time I caught him cheating, and it was
You caught Blake cheating?
I caught him and his wife cheating.
Whoa. We shouldn't be talking about this.
You said you would never tell.
We were playing a board game, and the board game required it was like husbands and the wives, some sort of like question and answer kind of board game, and it involved something like you had to like turn around or you had to sit in somebody's lap, or it was a weird like couples competition board games, and like everyone was laughing and not really paying attention, but I happened to look over at Laura Beth at the right moment, and she is like very covertly on her knees, like signing the answers to Blake. And I called her out on it, and she looked, it must have been the face that I had when my dad caught me masturbating. Because the look on her face, and then over like the anger on Blake's face for her getting caught.
I have no doubt that she felt that way because, like, her great shame is how competitive she gets at board games. Like, we were at a retreat with some young adults last year, and Laura Beth got so pissed that someone kind of sort of broke a rule that she had to remove herself from the entire group of 20 people because she just couldn't fucking handle it anymore.
What game was it? Do you remember?
Time's Up. Which is the same. It's a fish bowl. A lot of people call it. So you like put a bunch of random names in a bowl, and then like the first round you get to act them out and like use words and sounds. Use the same group of words the next time, but the second round you only get to you don't get to make any. You don't get to talk. Okay. And the third round you can only mime or something like that.
Okay.
Ton of fun. But she's super fucking competitive, and her ears were getting red. She just had to walk outside for a while.
Both of you are competitive, and she is super lawful, and you're super chaotic. So it's a good time whenever like playing a game, both of you guys get drunk. It's a good time.
No, Dave was like, one of you is very close. I'm like, please say 7, please say 7, please say 7.
I remember. I don't think you know about this, Blake. But it was one time in DC. It was you and Laura Beth in the front seat, me and Meg in the back seat when we were going out to dinner somewhere. And you asked me, you're like, yeah, what's your shoe size? And like I turned to Meg and I give her a, watch this. 11. And you go, oh, 11. Fuck you, it's not 11. I wear a 10 and a half. And you were so pissed. And I knew if I said that you would be.
I'm a ridiculous person. But seriously, what size shoe do you wear?
10 and a half.
I don't believe you.
Well, it's better than our friend James. I love James, but I remember the first time he told us his shoe size. It was like that episode of Friends where you figure out Joey's shoe size is like ridiculously small. I remember James like, yeah, we're like a 7. And like everybody looks at James. It's like, are you walking on peg legs? What are you doing? Yeah. That's all I got.
All right.
Thanks for coming on, Blake.
Yeah,
It was my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Because 2 days out and you made it happen, so I'm pretty happy. I appreciate it.
Good. Yep. I'll come on next time and tell everyone how my colonoscopy went.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Can you come back for Monday?
Can you call us when you're coming down from your drugs?
Can you call us while the colonoscopy is happening?
Because like apparently like I kept when I had mine after the fact I kept like farting and demanding sandwiches and like that wasn't my dad. Like to my knowledge, my dad's never smoked weed, but after his colonoscopy drugs wearing off, like he told the nurse he wanted to smoke up and go on a really slow drive. So
That's the Krampus grass.
That's not good because Lord Beth like can't pick me up, so one of my students is actually going to drive me out.
oh man, it's gonna. Well, they won't let you out until you're out of the worst of it. So
Right. Well, maybe I won't end up getting fired that day as well. Then.
at least not for that reason. Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. I thought I'd mix that up for you.
I like that.
I accidentally did.
I love that.
Well, nothing else has been the same, so let's just fuck it all.
Fuck it up.
You started the outro, and I just kind of like glazed over. Then I heard SoundCloud first. I like perked up. I like to think everybody listening like had the same reaction. Like, okay, it's the outro. What?
Hey, Smallest Marketplace Stitcher. We have like 2 reviews on there. So we would love it if you downloaded Stitcher and actually left us some Stitcher reviews.
I'm surprised we've got 2 reviews on Stitcher. To me, that's amazing.
I've never actually checked. I vaguely know what Stitcher is. I just know what I've heard people saying. Yeah, I went there. You guys don't really have any.
All right, I'll take their word for it.
That's why whenever Jorge was asked, like, are you guys on Stitcher? And I was like, yeah, but you're going to think we're really shitty when you log on to Stitcher and find our show. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. So, go to SoundCloud, go to Stitcher. Whatever we tell you, we'll probably do it. And because I'm not going to change...
What the fuck is happening?
No, I'm just saying... Whatever we try and do.
Are you claiming to be Nostradamus? Whatever we say is going to happen.
Whatever we say we'll do. We promise it will happen sometimes.
I wish I could have read your mind at that moment and said sometimes with you. I need a moment. I can't even.
And this is somebody's first show. They are not going to understand.
I can't breathe.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, which he didn't, we're going to be back.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we're going to. This is the last episode of TADPOG. We just didn't have the heart to tell you earlier. Mommy and Daddy are splitting. Blake's the new host. He's going to do it by himself.
Yep. Just me talking about my colonoscopy. Adventures in colonoscopy.
You do one a year when you have your annual colonoscopy, and that'll just be it. That's the show.
Oh, is it an annual thing now? Like after this, like is it breaking the colon?
It's not till you're like over 45 that you need them annually.
He was like, I could stick my finger up there, but I was like, okay.
I did that too. They didn't stop them. So
Yeah, I can put my finger up there, but I see you beat me to it.
because I told that story about like my massive cock finger doctor shoving his cock fingers in my ass.
You got to shake your doctor's hand, and it feels like you're checking out the octopus at the fish market.
You feel like 5 flaccid penises. I don't say that, but like once or twice a year.
So yeah, we'll be back. I don't know what we're doing Monday. I have no fucking clue. Clearly, I don't know what goes on this show because shit just fucking happens. I don't know. but we'll be doing something, probably. In the meantime, you can always find us at tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. You can find us on Twitter. There, I fucking changed it. Yeah, how you like that shit? You can find us on Twitter. We're at tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. Thank you for everybody who's retweeting us, especially our episode posts. I appreciate that. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there. There's also some dicks there, but mainly a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool shit.
I wish you had said dig and MySpace.
Oh, man. That would have been good.
Chance.
I know. I'm going to be like really mad at myself on the way home for that. I'm going to bounce a basketball off my head as I drive home. Hey. You know this thing that just happened to your ears? You want to pay us money for that? You can do it. You can do it if you want. I mean, if you really want to. We've got a Patreon going at patreon.com/tadpog. Throw in us a few bucks. We're essentially holding one of the best TADPOG episodes for ransom, which is the one that we just recorded with the guys from Two Dudes in a Nest. That turned out to be way, way too pornographic.
Too hot for two dudes.
Yeah. So the only way to get that is to pay us a little money. Just pay us a little money.
As little as $1. Sign up for $1.
Yeah.
It clears. You get your episode. Unsubscribe. You can do it.
That's not the message I want to send, Tyler.
No.
That's not
Hopefully
the
you'll
message.
forget and just leave it there. But
We're banking on you forgetting so that we need to buy more hot garbage food. We're not going to buy, I promise you, we're not going to buy a replacement cable for phone calls. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, what's going to happen is you're going to be like, I'm paying these guys like monthly and they can't buy it. Like, you can't go to fucking Radio Shack and buy a $2 cable.
But they keep eating gross hot food and their audio quality's going down because they're getting fatter and breathing through their mouths. Man, dude, this is a good piece of fried chicken from Cracker Barrel. Thank you for listening to TADPOG.
We just stopped eating novelty food, and at this point we just eat lunch on the show.
Let's eat a full course dinner. I got chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy, corn on the cob. Thank you, TADPOG Nation.
You can call us if you want. You want to call us? You can do that at 270-883-2555. We won't have a new cable, so it'll probably sound really awful. But you can also text if you want to text. I promise I'll fuck it up when I read it.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Hey, Blake.
Yeah.
What's our theme song?
Moves by Sycamore Drive.
Where can a link to that track be found?
The show notes. It lives at tadpog.com.
Got that part down. I'm proud of you. It's still an improvement from the fucking first episode you were on.
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn. Thank you.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I got super nervous right then. I was like, "Oh, here we go again."
Blake, how do you want to close this out?
Let's do. How about Russian in a Russian accent?
Okay. So until next time. Tropical Capricorn. We will blitzkrieg the Europeans. With Phobos and Deimos.
You know Hitler invented the Zerg Rush, right?
It's true. There's my dad. So
all
here,
right.
I'll answer it. Hello? Wait a minute. Let's see. Say something again now. Keep talking. I'm gonna try and get the soundboard right.
15, 5, 6.
There we go. Okay, now you're coming through.
Yes.
Hi, Dad.
Am I there?
Yep.
You're here. They just shorten the cable. There's literally.
We've got to shorten this cable so it's.
I mean, we can get rid of Blake. That's our only option. Get rid of Blake or do something. Or just put him on
You can
speaker.
do it, and then hit me back up if you want.
Okay, now it's this earphone. Now say something again. Maybe if I can hold this perfectly still.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got you on the board, but Tyler has to like remain perfectly still, like a statue.
Hello, we working now?
Yep.
Yep.
I have a joke or two. What do you think?
I would like to hear
We'd
those
love it.
very much.
Okay, well, I told a midget a joke the other day, and it went right over his head.
Okay, so what's the joke?
How many guys are in there?
Me and Dave, and then Blake is also on the line.
Okay, well, one of you farted because I smell Vaseline.
Got him.
Secret of that.
I think that was Tyler,
They
actually.
had one of them good-looking mannequin, a red-headed, pretty mannequin. So I started messing around with that mannequin a little bit. And then the manager kicked me out. And if you ask me, the little whore was asking for it.
I'm glad that it now is the first time I've ever heard you say whore.
Oh, this is a special moment between father and son.
My favorite beer is another one. And you know when I know that I've had too much
When?
is when I run out. And I had a birthday the other day, and I was trying to find a girl to jump out of a cake, and I couldn't find one. But finally, I found a fat girl to jump out for a piece of cake. My sister had moles all over her face, and she got tired of everybody teasing her and calling her holy moly. And I didn't appreciate it. She didn't appreciate it, and it was upset her. So you know what I started calling her?
What?
Guacamole. And I was in Walmart the other day looking for my wife, and I couldn't find her. I went down both aisles. I went down all the aisles. I went down the back aisle. I went down the front aisles. I could not find her. And I run into another guy that was doing the same thing. He couldn't find his wife. I said, well, what does she look like? And he said, well, she's kind of cute. She's blonde-headed. She's built really nice and got a short skirt on. I said, well, forget my wife. Let's go find yours. And I was late for work this morning. I tried to ride my exercise bicycle to work.
Yeah.
Is everybody in there single?
Nope.
Unfortunately,
Because
no.
if you go to prison, you won't be single long.
I don't get it.
You got any more?
A midget girl, she went up on me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Why do we do this show anymore?
It's all downhill.
Just have Tyler's racist, sexist dad hour.
This has turned into a really, really weird thing that we do.
What I think is hilarious is like this is like a totally different side of your dad than you ever talk about. Like,
Yeah. It does.
It's like-
It does kind of make you look like a big liar. Because he's telling jokes about drinking a lot of beer. I didn't even get the joke where he called the mannequin a whore. Can someone explain that one to me?
I think it might have been that she was asking for it when she couldn't ask for
Or that
it.
he went in and he was molesting a mannequin.
I get those
was a-
confused.
Yeah,
That was
a mannequin, and then he got kicked out, and he said the whore was asking for it.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to get it. It's barely a joke
It's barely a joke.
because she can't ask for it because she's
Right, she couldn't have asked for it. She's not real, but he was fucking her anyway.
okay. All right.
What if Tyler? What if none of these were jokes?
These are all his confessions.
We're gonna stitch it together as
him.
his autobiography.
Did you hear about that guy that was murdered 20 years ago? I did it. Stabbed him right in the dick.
Hey, Tyler, I'm not your dad.